Hey all, today on the podcast we have Natalie Denise Sperl. She is an actor, she is a musician, she is a singer-songwriter, she does a little comedy, she does photography, now she's coaching actors. I mean, what doesn't she do? She's done a lot of editing. She's actually done some editing for me, so I can attest. But I learned some new things about her, which I think you will enjoy. She's a woman with many talents, and she has some new projects coming out, which she'll tell you about it. So I hope you enjoy the podcast today with Natalie Denise Sperl. Welcome to my podcast, where I'll be speaking with guests candidly about interesting topics. So join me on Candid with Kimbra. So Natalie Denise Sperl, she is my friend, and I sometimes refer to her as the hardest working woman in show business because you do it all, right? You do the acting, modeling, singer-songwriter, great editor, by the way, and I've used her for things. Do photography, Photoshop, what else? You take really good pictures from what I've seen. You take your own pictures sometimes. I've seen you take your own pictures, right?
I do. I do it all. Yes. Self-taught. My philosophy is, dive into the deep end and figure out how to swim. And that's kind of how I've lived my whole life and navigated my career. So yeah, I did end up teaching myself a lot of these things only because number one, money.
Right. You want to save money.
Professionals talk a lot, yeah. And then every time you want to update your reel or something like that, if you're an actor, every new credit you get, so it can be an ongoing thing where it's like, you know what, I think I'm just gonna try to figure this out on my own. And sometimes as artists, I think we are our best sort of critics. I think we know what's best sometimes too.
True.
Looking at our footage or listening to our songs or looking at our art, we're sometimes our best, sometimes best judges. So we kind of know what we like, and so I think I just got tired of, people getting a hold of my art, maybe not understanding it as much as I would have liked. And it was their spin on it, sure. But I think, I just wanted my take on it. And it's a very specific to me, thing.
I would say you are very specific, and you're not afraid to show that, or you actually embrace, or you like that edgy side, right? You definitely are not afraid to be, which I think is the real you, right?
Yeah. And that's why I love music, and that's kind of why I got into music. Acting, we're kind of this generic kind of character. We can do this, we can do that. I can be a cop, I can be a nun, I can be a criminal, I can be a good girl, bad girl, like whatever you want me to be,
Yeah.
Can you ride horses? Yep. Can you stick straight, can you windsurf? Yes.
Can I skydive? Sure.
Whatever you want. Yes. Can you? Yes. That's always the joke as an actor. Hey, I was going to ask you, can you? Yes. But for music, I think it's more specific, and I feel like I can say a little bit more from my point of view. And so, I have a band that I put together, and there's no record company telling us what to do. There's no team behind us saying you got to do this, that. It's whatever I want to talk about, whatever I want to sing about, whatever I want to write about, whatever I want to perform about. So for me, that gives me a little bit more control over expressing my art in music at this point.
There's a lot of freedom in music, and I agree with you on that. That's why, like during COVID, I got back into songwriting, because that's a way you can express it, you can control it, you can do it all yourself. With movies and film, you're relying on the bigger picture, you're relying on the people that are creating it, right? And most of the time it's not you. So you're relying on the editor, you're relying on all those other people and their vision, but with music, it's all your vision, and you can say what you want, right?
I do.
Yeah, and I do. And speaking of that, I heard your song, and I wanted to bring it up about put me in your movie, Quentin Tarantino. And you're actually dressed very appropriately for that today.
Yeah, I sort of realized that it was like, let's just do a quick updo, sort of
right?
Sort of 60s nod to sort of, updos. But you have to be careful, because if you don't pull enough strays, it gets a little
wonky. It looks a little scraggly. Like for me, it does. I always have to push and talk, right?
Or it ages you. If I don't get it a little messy enough, it's too
Yeah, you
mature.
want the messy bun. Yeah, speaking of that, I was the other day we're gonna get to your song, I don't want to forget it, but I was walking down the mall. Who goes to malls anymore? I do. And I saw this thing of Pamela Anderson with gosh, it was a jewelry company and she had her picture on it, right? And it was her new look without the makeup. And I was like, oh God, I'm not that brave to do that, But I'm like, is that going to be a thing? Like where everybody's not going to wear makeup anymore, and it sure saves time, right?
Yeah, no, there's like whole discords on like, skin texture. Like it's a whole thing. Yeah, yeah.
I know. Anyway, so your song, put me in your movie Quentin Tarantino. What inspired that? Because you must obviously love Quentin Tarantino, right?
Yeah, what inspired me was total jealousy. I found out that a friend of mine got cast in the film, and I was like, what? I was so jealous.
What?
And yeah, and I was so jealous. I thought, and I was kind of mad. I went to bed like angry that night. And I remember the next morning I woke up with the melody in my head. And I woke up thinking like, put me in your movie, Quentin Tarantino. Put me in your movie, Quentin Tarantino. Put me in your movie, Quentin Tarantino. And I was like, put me in your movie, Quentin Tarantino. Da 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 da. El Camino.
Uh-huh. And the words started rhyming.
All the way to Encino, just put me in your movie, Quentin Tarantino. I was like, there it is. I was like, so then I right away grabbed my phone, which by the way, I have a million like song ideas in here that haven't been
Yeah,
finished.
me too.
Probably Grammy award winning songs in here. Well, that I haven't gone to. Yeah, I grabbed the voice memo right away and I was like, and then from there it sort of grew. And then I wrote the song and it came pretty fast. My bandmate Adam Smith, he does all the guitar and all the heavy lifting with the guitars and stuff. And he kind of did like this Dick Dale kind of
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
60s vibe. And but the problem was the movie was coming out like 2 weeks later, like a week later. So we didn't have proper release like strategy time, they usually get time to plan and prep it for release. We didn't really have a lot of time. So we're like, hurry and shot this video. And I shot it in my garage against a green sheet I think I bought one of the wigs for like $40 or something. So it was like a labor of love, like, hurry, let's get this out. Let's get it in time for the release of the film. And we released it on the day of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. So it's from what I've heard through various, very credible sources, like the most credible source, I'm not going to say who, that he heard the song.
Oh yeah, I think you told me this.
And it says, quote, very catchy. Very catchy.
Why can't we make it go viral on TikTok? You know what I mean? Are you on TikTok?
The band is on TikTok, but I run all band business and my own acting business and all my stuff business. So I don't do enough like posting and stuff as I should.
You're pretty good though. I mean, I must say, well, you don't do it maybe often enough, but the ones you do are really good because you really do a little like mini montage usually.
Yeah, no, it's like it's too immense. It's like band, my career, cat, coaching. Like it's to try to advertise everything. It's just so.
You're like, as one of my best friends, Victor, always says, you need an assistant. I go, I know. I said, do you want to be my unpaid assistant?
Anyone out there wants to help me with social? Seriously, get at me.
Look her up.
All this stuff. Yeah.
Well, and people can find you. You got a website, right? It's
Yes, I do. I have my own personal website, NatalieDeniseSperl.com.
Mm-hmm.
My band has its own website, KillMyCoquette.com. I'm really trying to grow my YouTube subscribers and stuff like that. So I'm thinking of putting together some kind of comic content. I did like a little mini series called The Sperly Girl Show, and I shot all those episodes. I think I did 10 episodes. I'm thinking of doing like another season of that. So
if you still do Melania Trump,
I haven't. I have to dust her off.
Okay. I think that's the first time I saw you. Our mutual friend Joanne was showing. She's like, you got to see my friend Natalie. She does this Melania Trump, and I was like, this is hysterical.
She needs to be dusted off for this election, I think. So stay tuned.
Yes, we'll see. Especially if who gets in the White House, then you really will be like, you will be working.
I can hear that. Okay.
I know, right? yeah, I mean, I'm just, preparing myself for whatever the outcome is, but I don't know.
Anyway,
Yeah.
yes. So,
So I wanted to ask you something. You're not originally from LA, right?
no, I'm from Minnesota, small town.
No.
Yeah, geez. Oh God, a lot of coffee and bars and tater tot hot dish. Graduated with like 30 people in a Catholic school.
Oh, wow.
And
Like the Catholic girl gone bad. I mean,
that's like Madonna too. Yeah. There's a lot of I loved it. I loved it. I mean, I just knew that I wasn't going to be there forever, but there's a lot of performance and music though involved in the Catholic religion if you go to
that's
school.
true. Ceremony.
Yeah, ceremony and all that. So it's like, oh, so I got to see all this kind of performance and costuming, if you want to call it that. Singing, chanting, choir. So it all kind of, to me, it was entertainment.
And the reputation of Catholic schools, I didn't go to Catholic school, but the reputation is that you get a very good education out of it, aside from, whether you're religious or not, or you take that. But I always heard that Catholic schools were like the best as far as actual learning. Is that true? Do you think that's true?
You'll have to ask my accountant and agent that.
What do you mean?
If I was successful in learning what I needed to.
Oh, I get it. Yeah, I get it. Well, I just meant like the basic stuff, like
Yes.
right.
I got all that. I know how to do that. Yes.
Yeah, she does. She does know how to read. Okay, so you came out. How old were you when you came out from Minnesota?
Oh gosh.
Or young. You were in your teens or
yeah, 17, something like that. Yeah, I bounced around. I was in London for a while, Paris, Milan. Then I went back to LA to pursue that. So I kind of started in LA, then was like, okay, I'm leaving to go to Europe to do modeling. I did runway modeling. I was at the School of Central St. Martin's, which is like where McQueen came out of, Galliano came out of. I was right there with like Giselle, like that was post Kate. So it was after Giselle was already in, like post Giselle kind of that time. And it was like a few years, 3-4 years of my life. And it was amazing. Like I lived that whole life. I was
experience
covers. Yeah, I would go down to the newsstand and be like, oh, there I am on the cover. So I did great there, but it was very it was a hustle. It wasn't, it was like kind of on the fringes and in a bit of the mainstream. And then right before that happened, I left to go to LA to pursue acting. So I was in it. It was great. It was an amazing experience. I've got drawers and drawers full of tear sheets from magazines, it's like, oh, should I post these? Oh, look at me. It's like, it's hard to sometimes look back at all these, magazines that I've been in. Oh, look at my skin.
I know it's always a fine line. Like, I don't like to post too much stuff from my past, but I do every once because I don't like because I always think I want to be living for the now and for future. I want to be now.
But we didn't have. I had like a BlackBerry at that time, so we didn't have Instagram, so I couldn't like post all that stuff though,
Sure.
right? So it's like. Yeah, but because we didn't have it at the time, I still want to do that because otherwise no one knows you've done it.
That's true.
It's like, only because we didn't have that back then, right? So,
well, you could put it on your IMDb and also your website, but I know it won't get the mass attention that social media, right?
Yeah. Well, IMDb doesn't cover like modeling, like editorial gigs. Well, they do have, they do covers, don't they? But anything like inside beauty magazines, like
oh yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, because I put some interesting pictures down below of.
Okay, for photos. Okay, yeah, right. Oh, post the photos. Yeah, you got it.
Yeah. So you came out here. Now, did you study acting when you came out here?
I did. I actually studied acting in London at the studio in the West End, and that was like theater. And I've studied theater before in high school. So I studied theater in the West End in London before I came to LA. And then when I got to LA, I studied at Playhouse West. I went Second City for improv for comedy. Jeff Goldblum was my instructor at Playhouse West.
Wow.
And I studied with Howard Fine. I studied with Sally Kirkland for a hot minute. I kind of just bounced around, took sort of things where, I don't really believe in a one-all, like know-it-all kind of sort of acting guru. I don't really believe in that. I believe in taking things and nuggets from here and from there and kind of incorporating them into your own style. But like I said at the beginning, I really learned the most from just diving into the deep end and figuring out how to swim. That's really where I learned the most.
Absolutely. I was just telling someone that it's like doing for me is always doing is the way I learn, because intellectually you can take us a lot in, but then just doing it is the way you learn, right?
It is. So if you can get those doing it credits, if you can get
give me those credits, I want to do it.
yeah, you get those gigs and just to keep racking them up to learn how to do it. So yeah.
You should hit up the producers of Fargo, the TV show Fargo. I don't know if because a friend of mine was on as a detective. She had a great little part, and I was like, God, I'd love to be on that show because they always have the quirkiest, strangest characters, right?
I have to dig out my Minnesota accent, though. It's kind of been pushed far back.
I'm sure it'll come back to you if you got hired. You could just dig into it.
It'll be back in a second. Yeah.
I know, right? That will be the inspiration for you. Now, as I do follow you on Instagram, I know you've got a lot of movies coming up, right? Don't you have like a few movies coming up?
I do. I've got 5 actually.
5?
Four that are filming or production, and then one in pre-production called Broken Brothers. And that's I play a homeless veteran.
You play a homeless veteran?
Yeah, it's like a bit of a stretch. Great. You've never done anything like this. It's a female filmmaker, Broken Brothers, and it's a friendship story at its core. I'm excited to work on that. I play a homeless veteran, so that's
what a meaty part, right?
Yeah, really good meaty part, something different. Take the makeup off, do something like the Pamela Anderson, right? It's like do something different. Yeah, so that'll be fun. And then I have 2 musical films. One is called Garden State Goddess, and that's kind of like I would describe it, Rocky Horror meets 30 Rock.
Wow, that sounds great.
Yeah, so it's like a behind the scenes industry touch of that with the kind of phantasmical Rocky Horror kind of lip syncing and musical. I don't actually sing this one, I lip sync it. My part. So that'll be fun. Garden State Goddess. I'm not sure when that's going to come out yet. I think they're still in post-production. And then I have the other musical called St. Peter's Street, which we're still filming now. And that's kind of a vampire gothic tale musical. And I play a Southern Belle in that one, which is another kind of departure for me as an actor to play something
fun. Yep.
And that's it's kind of like a young Frankenstein meets kind of Rocky Horror again, in a sense that vampire-ish and musical. So that was a fun character.
Musicals are the most fun to do, but they're hard work too, because of the music part.
Yeah, to lip sync. That one I did do a couple takes of the songs in the studio recording it. So we'll see if my takes get actually used on the final product or not. But that was fun. I was literally like learning my lines with people around me on the plane, giving the script. And, okay, run the lines. Can you run lines? Because I had so much dialogue. And as actors, sometimes we don't have a lot of time to prepare.
Sure.
And I'll find like the mailman, the neighbor, I'll find anybody. Hey, can you run lines with it? Because it's so much memorization and stuff.
Right. I used to do this trick where I would record the other person's lines, leave a space, and then
Or like I peek, or like look at it and peek, like, okay, look down, peek, say their line, look up,
Yeah, that's so funny. So, and then are you playing out at all? Like, are you performing anywhere with your band? You're mostly in LA. Everybody's based out of LA, right? In the band.
Yes, I'm LA and Phoenix, actually. I've got residences in both. But yeah, my band is in LA. So I'm coming to do a show, I believe, in October, but I can't say for sure yet. I would check Kill My Coquette, which is my band's website. Check killmycoquette.com for an actual show date. But there's rumors that it's happening. It's been a few years since we played out live since COVID and stuff like that. So October is rumored to have a Kill My Coquette show. So you'll see.
Can I say it? Can I say where you told me it was, or no? Should we wait?
You have to wait for that.
Okay. We'll wait. You'll release it on Instagram. Well, that's exciting. You're doing a lot of stuff. And so you're also doing, like, are you coaching people too, or something? You said something about.
Yes, yes. It kind of randomly happened. Somebody was asking me for a referral for something,
Mm-hmm.
and then it was, oh, can you help take his headshots? A friend of mine, and then it just sort of happened, and then I had time to do it. And I used to teach a few years back too. I did like private consults and stuff like that, like headshot prep, resume prep, and all that stuff. And so that turned into private coaching, and I'm having a ball doing it.
Really?
Um, yeah, it's really interesting because I didn't think I might even like it, but I learned so much by coaching other actors. And I've been doing this my whole life. So now that the business has changed with self-tapes, a lot of new actors, they're clueless. They're lost. It's like, hey, can you help me? How do you do this? How do you even set up the camera? What do you do for audio? How do you edit it? So all this stuff with all my experience, I've just been able to help a lot of people. And then I turned that into this coaching, private coaching business. And you can also do it through Zoom as well. I offer Zoom.
Mm-hmm.
Zoom coaching or any kind of audition prep. A lot of times new actors get sides and they say, oh my God, how do you, there's 3 pages here. I have to have this like on camera. How do I do that? Well, you need to have a reader. You got to have someone,
Right.
with
Yeah.
you. A
Because
lot of times they're lost. So I help them with all that. And then also with character development, to be able to book the job. I've been doing this a really long time. So I know a lot of the tricks. I know a lot of the tips. I know what casting is looking for because I do it, and I I book. So I teach my clients what I use to book.
sure. And the
Really,
business model has changed so much because, as you know, it's happened before COVID, but especially since COVID, it's like you do everything yourself pretty much,
yeah.
right? To film the audition, you got to make sure your audio's good, your lighting's good, blah, blah, blah,
Yeah.
right?
Oh yeah, you're a one-person studio now. Actors are also right. They're also um, editors. They're also grips.
And also wardrobe.
Stylists. They're also set design. They're also, so yeah, it's a lot.
It's
Yeah.
so true. Yeah, because like I was telling our mutual friend Joanne, that's why I call you the hardest working woman in showbiz because I'm like, Natalie's amazing. She's always, because when I see your reels, I'm like, how did you do all that?
No, I really enjoy editing. And editing is just, it's been such a gift for me to learn how to do that. It took a long time.
Mm,
Uh, I think you can probably dial in things on your phone and it sort of does it for you. But, almost, even 5 years ago, it was, there's a certain technique to editing and I learned the old way. And so it
yeah,
took,
the old way's better. Like there's these programs that I might get that actually will make up little clips, like from the podcast, which is fine for the little clips, but for actual real editing for a human is still the best way to go because they can detect the precise moment to cut the best moment for the performance too. So
yeah.
that's amazing. So out of all the things that you do you like acting more or do you like music more? I know we talked about it a little bit, but what would you say? Do you like them equally, acting and music?
I think equally. Yeah, they're different. It's a different sort of beast. I mean, I feel like the music is so much more private.
Mm-hmm. It's like
You know,
the real you can come out in a way.
yeah, versus the time you actually perform. At least for us, we're not a national touring band, yet. So the amount of shows we do versus the time that it takes for me to write songs and
Mhm.
um, you know,
Are you the only one that writes in the band?
no, my bandmate Adam, he writes with me.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly I do all the lyrics, but he will also co-write with me sometimes also as well. Uh,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Player Mike who does bass, and so yeah, we're excited to be playing with the new drummer Princess Frank. We're very excited for him,
His name
and
is Princess Frank.
Princess Frank. We can leave
Okay.
the he's awesome, so I can't wait to play with him. So yeah, we're really excited to be coming back and playing live. I really can't wait. It's been so long. So
There's nothing like performing live. Did you ever do plays, by the way? Did you ever have you been?
I started doing plays in high school. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. I think you said that. Yeah, because for me, I love doing plays, but it just doesn't pay very well, unless you can get into you know, a big production.
Definitely a labor of love. I was thinking about putting on my own, you know, play. I thought about that, especially if the auditions are slow and, you just want to act, you just want
Hmm.
to emote, you just want to, work on something and get your teeth into some kind of, part.
Hmm.
Uh, Putting on your own play is definitely a way to do it. But like you said, it's a bit challenging to get people in Los Angeles to come to an original play. I think I could be wrong, but it's not really a theater town per se. Uh,
Right.
so
I was
you
in
know,
this one play, one of the last plays I did, and the director hired a publicist, which was quite expensive, right? And even then, she didn't get a lot of people there, but she got it reviewed, which was good. But
oh yeah, you need that review. You got to have that review, a
and
good review,
yeah,
preferably.
unfortunately, I got a good review, but the play didn't. But I still saved the clip. I'm like, I got a good review.
Those clippings are, oh my God, yes, yes.
You
I
know?
did play in North Hollywood at the El Portal,
Oh, I
and
know that theater.
yeah, and it was like my first really big part. And we got reviewed in the LA Times. And it was like,
Oh, wow, that's
I
cool.
got a good review. Yeah, I was like, oh, that was like, oh my God, I'm so excited. So that was fun.
It's so true. Like when you hear really like the actors that I really respect, that they always like doing theater more because it's so real. Acting is a lot of cut, and then and like it's an editor's medium, right? So you just never know exactly how it's gonna be.
Right. Right. And it feels like it's a race to get this emotion out. And then you're like,
Mhm.
okay, much, but for live theater, it's a slow reveal. It has time to live and to breathe
Mhm.
and present it in an hour and a half or however long the play is
Mhm.
versus, you just need that little minute of action and then you can go to
Yeah,
lunch.
that's true. So I was going to ask you too, is anybody in your family in show business? Or are you like the only one that's in the arts?
No, my brother, he's a musician as well. He's also he does recording now. He did sound engineer. He was
Hmm.
touring with a bunch of bands as a sound engineer, then
Hmm.
performer, and now he's a recorder, engineer, and producing. Um,
Wow, I didn't know that.
his own studio. Yeah, he just finished work on his studio in Minnesota, and he's got bands coming in there that he's recording.
There's a
Um,
lot of great music in Minnesota, a lot of great bands that have come out of there.
yeah, a
Yeah.
lot of them.
Must be because of the cold weather. It's like,
To do. And like, yeah, it's like, oh,
right,
you're stuck inside for like half.
right, like Seattle when it's always cold. How far away? Wait, you're from Minnesota, so is Paisley Park? Is that near where?
My brother actually works there. He
Oh, he
used to
does?
work there. He
Oh,
did.
cool.
That's where we were about 2 hours south of Minneapolis, closer to the Iowa border. So we're a little, about 2 hours from a big city per se.
Hmm. Hmm.
So it was still, in reach to go and do stuff. So
Well, I'm so happy to see that you have all these movies coming out. Which is the one that is there one that you're the most proud of? I mean, which is the one that you think is going to really show? Is it The
I'm
Homeless Veteran?
oh, they're like my babies. I don't know if I mentioned That Day on 101st Street is another one that's coming out. We're still filming that. That's going to be really exciting. That's kind of like an ensemble piece. It kind of reminds me of the movie Traffic.
That was a good movie.
All these different
Yeah, all these different like
ensemble,
scenes, stories.
yeah, an ensemble piece. Really excited for That Day on 101st Street. And then the next film I have coming out though premieres on October 26th called Death Border. And that's like a slasher action film.
I know how you like those horror movies.
Yeah, yeah. And that one I play like a border angel, it's the border issue is a hot button topic right now. And it's this slasher film set on that border.
Oh, wow.
I play like a border angel, Michelle, who brings water to the migrants and mothers and people passing through and to help them. And
Hmm.
that's premieres October 26th. So,
Oh, wow. So you actually have 5 things coming out, right? Well, one's not done yet, right?
well, one hasn't started filming yet. So, but
Oh,
yes,
okay.
eventually 5. Yes. Yeah.
So how much time do you spend going back and forth? Do you spend a big chunk of your time in LA and then you go to Phoenix?
Yes, it just depends where the work is and where my clients are. My private coaching, if it's in person, obviously, you know, depending on my calendar and
Right.
my yeah, where I am. So it's probably split, probably
Mm.
more LA, but yeah, it just depends on what's going on where the work is. So
Right. We got to go where the work is, right? But so yeah, you're doing the photography, you're doing the editing, you're doing the writing, you're doing the singing, and your songwriting. When do you get to sleep?
I don't, I don't.
Well,
We're dead.
yeah,
Well, we're dead. So
right?
we'll rest.
I know. It's like I feel like every moment of my day is I'm doing something, doing something.
Ride this thing till the wheels fall off.
No, that's good. That's good that you have a lot of energy. I wanted to ask you about your cat. How's your cat doing?
Cat is interesting. My cat is probably has more fans than I do. So
Did you ever put your cat on Instagram?
I have a page for him too, but like everything else, I just couldn't keep up.
You've neglected the cat, or
Yeah,
at least his peer.
yeah, it's Candy Cat Darling on Instagram, but I just don't keep up with it. I'm throwing my cat into all my videos on YouTube because I'm trying to get more subscribers on my YouTube channel. So I've
What's
incorporated
the, sorry, what's the name of your YouTube channel again?
my YouTube channel is Natalie Denise Sperl, my name. And I've incorporated the cat in a lot of videos now. So we'll
You've
see how.
become this crazy cat lady.
Oh yeah, and he's a crazy cat too, so it's perfect. I mean, he's got color eyes. He's pretty, rare, and
Yeah, wait
he's
till you guys see her cat. It's pretty amazing. How did you find that cat? Did you?
that cat's from a breeder. It's from a breeder. They just unfortunately don't have those cats in
Oh,
shelters or and scoop them up. But my very first cat was from a boyfriend of mine, and I fell in love with the breed ever since. So when that cat passed, I was like, I have to get another one. So
oh, so you've had this is your second cat. What's it called? What kind of the breed?
Sphinx.
Sphinx. Okay, yes. Is where are they from? Is that Egyptian or?
People think they're from Egyptian, but they're actually from Canada or Russia. Both countries have a feud going as to who started the breed.
Hmm.
But in the 60s, there was one in Russia, and then there was one in Canada, and then since then they've been breeding them with
Battling. Yeah.
cats. Are fighting over the title of where they're from, but they're actually Russian or Canadian. So
Well, yes. It's a very interesting cat. I will tell you. Wait till you guys see it. Hey, by the way, so if you're in LA or Phoenix, I want to come take pictures with you. I know that we talked about that a little bit, because
yes, I
yeah,
do take shots now. Another thing I started to do was teach myself how to take my own headshots because
I saw that.
we're always needing new looks. And sometimes my agent would call me up and go, "Hey, do you have a lawyer or like a doctor
Right.
photo?" I was like, "No, I don't. Nothing that specific." So I thought, I can just shoot my own. So I got a really nice lens. I've been practicing with it. I've shot many, many, many actors and models with it now, and I'm getting really, really good and comfortable with it. And the photos are amazing. So
Mm. Yeah, no, I saw your pictures. It came out really good.
really good, and they just it's like all about the eyes, like the face just pops. Like with this lens, it's like game changer. So I'm super excited. So I've been taking my own self portraits with it too, but it's a little bit difficult because my arm isn't long enough to get behind the
Right?
camera. Yeah, I have to like
Right.
so
It's been really fun having you on, and I want to have you back when some of your projects have been out so we can talk about them, you know?
yes.
Yeah.
Well, I've got tons of stuff out now. I've got this film, Succubus,
Okay. So, oh, cool, cool. Got it.
that is out now. That always comes up every Halloween. People like love it, and
Oh,
they
so it's when did you make it? Succubus.
made oh gosh, in 2012 maybe. I
Oh,
can't.
oh, okay. It's a
Yeah,
classic. It's a classic.
all classic. Gary Busey, Lorenzo Lamas, Kelly Hu, David Keith. It was a great. So that's that one.
Is that you with the glasses on?
Yeah, that's me on the cover.
Oh my God, that's great. What a great shot.
Yeah, thank you. And then this one is also out. This is the Western I did 2 years ago here in Arizona. Gunfight at Rio Bravo.
Wow.
Western.
Do you know how to ride a horse pretty well?
I can ride it. Okay, I'm not an advanced rider,
Mm-hmm.
but I do what needs to be done. I can get the job done.
She gets the job done, folks.
Can you? Yes, as an actor, yeah. But everything's on my website. I also sell my music on my website.
That's awesome. That's great. Yeah. Natalie Denise Sperl, and I'm going to have this in the notes below the video, right?
Oh, and I also sell T-shirts for my band on my website too.
Oh, that's awesome. We got merch, people, merch. Kill my coquette. And I'm going to play your song as we, after we say goodbye, I'm going to play your song. How's that sound?
I just want to dance.
So much. You're looking great. I can't.
I want to dance. Good.
Yeah, I can't just see you either in, because I know you're by state-ish. I used to say by county-ish because I'm Orange County, LA, but I'm going to say you're by state-ish, Arizona, California.
I'll see you soon. I'll take your photo.
And I will put it on the podcast. So thank you so much, and I'll see you soon. Bye.
I was all alone, misunderstood, but I'll suck it up. I'll play the game, I'll steal the scene if you keep me